AIDS 302, Session B, Summer 2020. It's about noon on, what is it, Wednesday, June 10th. Um, who knows nowadays? Let's get rolling on this. I know I'm posting these. Okay, I'll get into it. Sorry, I should never started. I wasn't ready. By the way, I did not take my trip that I said I was doing. I had a vote with my son, and we both voted indifferent. And so, you know what? We said, why bother? So I cleaned the apartment. That was great. Cleaning a bathroom can be very cathartic. Let's start with due dates. Okay, you may have seen I sent out a message saying I pushed a couple back a day. I never pull anything towards us. All right, I never make it shorter. Please do not misread this. I get evaluation comments saying, "Oh, he changes the due dates all the time and everything." If I change them, it's to your advantage. Okay, so don't panic. All right, if you submit something early, great. If you want to redo it before the due date, great. Okay, I'm as flexible as they come, except for being stiff and old. I'm very flexible. Um, Send in the Easter eggs when you can do them. I know I have due dates because I have to have due dates, and I do have a chronological order to the course through due dates because, as George Carlin would say, time is Mother Nature's way of not letting everything happen at once. So I use due dates as a chronological way to set up the course so you know which way to proceed. Okay. That doesn't mean I'm a real, let's just say I'm not really a hard ass if it comes to, man, I didn't do it, now I'm done. Now, if you notice the syllabus quiz and syllabus, you have 5 days grace period, 10% a day gets knocked off. But hey, here's the deal. If you can't get something done, there's a lot going on right now. It's the weirdest thing because on one scale, there's a lot of stuff going on that we've never seen, a lot of things. On the other scale, nobody's doing anything because we can't. So it's this weird, contradictory kind of thing going on in our society right now. All right. So if you know a due date's coming and you can't get something done for whatever reason, send me an email before the end of the due date, before it gets past due, and let me know you need a little extra time. Let me know how much time you need. Okay? I'm really good about these things. But if you send it to me before the due date expires, that means that I know that you know that it's coming. If I don't hear anything after the due date, then I'm like, well, you weren't paying attention. The due date came and went. But if you take 5 minutes out, not even, send me an email saying, I'm just swamped. I got work. I got this. I got demonstrators outside. I got my head's just filled. I get it. I really do. You just got to let me know. We got to stay in communication. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, that was it. All right, let's do Easter egg number one right away. Okay, I'm just going to say double check grammar and spelling. Double check grammar and spelling. Why do I say that? Why do you think, right? Um, yes, I will say this for your step twos that I've got. Oh my God, you guys are blowing me away. Fabulous job. Okay, for the overwhelming most part, it was great. Keep it up. All right. I do want you to double check spelling and grammar, though. Okay, obviously not everyone's going to be the greatest writer. I get it. Okay. But read the sentences to yourself. Do they make sense? All right. Or do they run on? Can you break it down into 2 or 3 sentences? Do so. Okay. Ernest Hemingway was known for his nice, concise sentences and things. You don't have to keep it going with commas or anything. Okay. Um, so, a couple of things. Remember that occupations are not what? That's right. They're not disciplines. Occupations are not disciplines. Disciplines are not occupations. Keep that separate, okay? Just a little reminder. Um, Remember to what? Capitalize the disciplines, right? If you don't capitalize business when you're talking about it as a discipline, then it's just a generic common noun of business, right? Okay, in terms of citations, again, if it's on the bottom in the works cited list, it should be in the top cited somewhere, right? And by the way, call it works cited, not work cited. It'd be better probably, but I'm not dinging anybody for that, of course. I'm just being overly micromanaging. Okay, let's see. So overall, the formatting though has been really good. I mean, it's one of the best classes I've had to do good formatting right off the bat. And so keep that up. I don't know why I'm yawning. First time I had 8 hours of sleep in 2 months. I checked with my Fitbit. Where the hell is my Fitbit? Okay, keep being precise, okay, because it's important. Sometimes you don't give me a comma after the last name in the citation. Sometimes you don't give me a space between the last word and the parentheses. Catch those things. I don't want to catch them because it just makes me feel like such an ogre when I bring it up. But it's, I think you need to know, and I think you'd like to know. All right. So keep precise and disciplined. Yes, disciplined. Okay. If you have any questions, you need to let me know before you run out of time. I've said it before. If you're spinning your wheels, you need to get a hold of me. Okay. For no other reason than at least to let me know you're spinning your wheels. But I'm glad to help. All right. All right, so let's get right into Easter egg number 2. Follow the video and examples. Now I used this on video 1, but I'm using it again. Follow the video and examples. By video, I mean the one in module 4 that is in the learning materials, right? Come on, where is it? Are we in module? Wait a second. Oh, sorry. It's in the hold on, people. Where's my video? Where's my video? Okay, it's in the Tanner Step 3 annotated bibliography in the page that deals with it. Let me see if I can get this thing any clearer. I don't know if I can. No, I guess not. Okay, so maybe it'll clear up here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so there's the video. See that down there? Of course you see it, right? That's in this page. All right. So hang on. View that video, 4 minutes. That's how to write an annotated bibliography. That's what I'm looking for. Take a look at the samples. The samples are great. Great jobs, okay? If you can follow that formatting, put in your own sources, boom, you got it. And for example, when we're talking about the annotated bibliography, notice you do not have to do a bibliography or works cited. Your paper is the bibliography. So, but watch the sources they're using here, okay? Using some darn good sources. Oh, I'm sorry. They're doing some really good sources. And you'll notice I have a rubric for that one, as you can tell. Because like this discussion I'm doing with primary sources, this is what's kind of pushing you to get those sources that I'd like you to start working with. In other words, we're stepping up our game in terms of sources and primary data collection. And that's what I am here for today. Yes, because remember, we're narrowing that topic down now. Okay, we had that topic, you had the kind of big picture topic, why it's a problem, why it's an issue. Step 2, you kind of you justified it being interdisciplinary. But I want our eyes focused on this. What are some of the opinions, perspectives, and experiences regarding blank revealed in a survey of random adult? Okay, the middle word can be perspectives, perceptions, same thing. What are some of the opinions, perceptions, and experiences regarding blank revealed in a survey of random adults? Question mark, right? That's what we're looking towards now. We're going to, because this research, again, you're not promising to discover anything, to resolve anything, to be a benchmark for anything, to do this or that, right? Keep it real. Hyperbole has been an issue for some people. Overpromising. There's no room for that in research. Stay humble. Do not overpromise and underdeliver. You can only underdeliver, right? So if you promise correctly, it'll be much better. So for example, what are some of the opinions, perceptions, and experiences regarding blank revealed in a survey of random adults? That's what we're shooting for. A snapshot of random adults, not common people. I saw that more than once. It's not common people. It's random adults, okay? Getting a snapshot of random adults regarding their opinions, perceptions, and experiences. on that topic. So we're narrowing it down to that. Does that mean it changes what we're looking for in our sources? Not really, but it does focus on an area that you're writing towards. Okay. So, for example, now looking for this is just terrible. I'm so embarrassed. Am I putting you to sleep too? You're putting me to sleep. That sucks. All right. So, looking at sources, how do we get those sources? Remember, primary sources, peer reviewed sources. Primary sources means that you're using the data that someone else got, that it's primary. That's like there's no 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. There is 1 degree from the research to you, primary research. Peer reviewed research is any paper, study that has been peer reviewed by the peers in that field, which adds to the credibility of it. It's not like, hey, we think this is a good news story, let's fire this up, this will get a lot of clicks. No, it's a peer reviewed article. That's what we're searching for. Okay, so the peer reviewed data is what, and I put that ahead of, okay. All right, so on the primary data collection assignment, it's in there, you can believe me. Okay, I'm not, that's not the one I want. On the discussion, primary sources, to prepare you for the annotated bibliography step 3, look for academic, professional journals, etc. Now, it's going to be a challenge for some of you, especially, for example, the coronavirus people that are studying that. All right, because there's much tighter, narrow band of research on that primary data, but it's there, and I promise you, it's there. And how do we find it? Let's take a look. Okay, so we go to the ASU library. You click on it, opens up the page, ASU library, and you type in what you want. Let's say student debt. All right, we're going to hit enter on that, and it says filter my results, full text online, peer-reviewed journals. Let's do that. Apply filters, and now I've got only 82,246 hits. Obviously, there's a lot of garbage in there, but there are the structure of attitudes to student debt. That's interesting. The causes and consequences of increasing student debt. Now, try not to use like the first 3, okay? Get in there. You're inside now. You need to dig a little bit. Not just student debt either. You can type in student debt consequences. I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Whatever you want to think about. Okay. Does anything come up? The causes and consequences of increasing student debt. See what I mean here? You need to be proactive and creative in finding things out. You need to change some search words. The causes and consequences of increasing student debt would not have come up had I just searched student debt. It probably was in there somewhere, but buried amongst 82,000. So keep that in mind when you're searching these things out. Do the due diligence. This is called rigor, academic rigor. And what is rigor? The dictionary, a bad source, but good for right now. Rigor is a sudden feeling of cold. No, okay. The quality of being extremely thorough, exhaustive, or accurate. This is academic rigor. It's not a sudden feeling of cold with shivering accompanied by a rise in temperature, often with copious sweating, especially at the onset or height of fever. Wow. Okay, it's not that. So you want to do that. Now, let me just discuss if you feel there's nothing out there, if you're like a coronavirus topic, what do you do then? Because I already looked, okay? Yes, there's not a lot of coronavirus papers in journals in there, but there are some. Take a look, okay? But for any of you that want to, this is you're getting outside the fenced in area, which can be good. You're interdisciplinarians. Do you search on Google? Yes, you can. But you click on books after you get the search set up. You don't click on all and get every doggone website and blog and conspiracy theory and everything out there. You click on books, and then you can start finding things, okay? Start finding things that are better. All right, they're not perfect, but they're better. What else can you do? You could type in COVID-19 research. Now you're going to start seeing some sites that have, ASM.org, COVID-19 research registry, global research on coronavirus disease from the WHO, the NIH.gov, coronavirus, National Institute of Health, the CDC. You're going to start seeing more research, RTI International. Now you got to be careful though, okay? And I'm going to get into that, right? You got Columbia University, and you have the Lancet, which I've discussed as being a very legitimate source, okay? So be creative, look around, okay? Dig for your sources. I'm going to ding if I start seeing just basic sources. I mean, it'd be like if you're talking to me about doing a report on the research on the effects of travel or coronavirus and travel, and you cite Expedia.com or Airbnb. Now, did I scare you? Now, those are okay to use if they're a credible source in what you're sourcing about, revenue or something like that. But it should be 1/10 to 1/20th of all your sources. You follow me? You can't rely on the .coms and the anecdotal stuff. Okay, all right. Which leads me into the final point I wanted to make. It's about keeping an open mind on what you're researching. This is a challenge. It'd be a challenge for me. It's a challenge for all of us. Okay, because we all have a point of view, all of us. Mine's a point of view of a 62-year-old white man who grew up in the United States. That's my point of view and my experiences. It's different than other 62-year-old white men who've grown up in the United States, but it's still my point of view. You all have different ones as well. We need to acknowledge our own and our biases, as well as what we feel we're sure of, okay? There's a certain differentiation between what you believe and what you know. Do you know how to ride a bike, or do you believe you can ride a bike? All right. See the difference? Okay. Having an open mind in your research means to be careful. To be careful on your sources. That's why we make sure our sources can back up. If you find yourself being too opinionated in your paper, back off. Because a researcher can have his or her biases, they can have their point of view, but they can switch it to that open-minded researcher mind, which lets the data interpret the results, interpret what they see. Okay, they're not preconditioning that data to show up in a particular way. They might, at the end of the day, after the research, they might find out they made some mistakes, or they had some leading questions or research, what have you. It depends on the type of data. But you let the data, it's the same way that if you were going to do research on health and wellness, okay, and people came back and you said, oh, by this data, they're not healthy. See, there's a difference because you're not a medical doctor. You're not. What are your credentials to decide that they're not healthy? Okay, you can let the data speak to you, and then the difference is, according to the data, 70% of those surveyed felt that they were overweight. They confirmed that their doctor needs them to do something. Uh, they appear to be sedentary. You don't get to decide. You let the data decide for you. Okay, it's a tough thing. All right, so we got to be careful. Okay, now if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns about that, you let me know. I'm not. It's the real tightrope to walk. Okay, to remember that it's your point of view can be different than someone else's, and so don't decide. I got a phone call. Dr. Prisdia is on the line. You guys, forks up. Take care.